Hi everyone, today we're doing lesson 3.5, dividing polynomials. Just like real numbers, polynomial function can be divided too, using the long division method. If you guys can't remember what the long division method is, I'll refresh in your mind. For example, if I want to find out what is 3 divided by 2, I use the long division method like so, in which I put 3 underneath the division sign and 2 outside of it. Then I will try to find the number that 2 can multiply with, so I will get closest to 3 as possible, but that number has to be a whole number. And that would be 1, because 1 times 2 equals 2. 3 minus 2 then equals to 1, and then I put a 0 down. At the same time, I have to put a dot after 1. And then 5 times 2 equals to 10, 10 minus 10 equals to 0. So the final answer of 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. Using the same simple method, we can solve the quotient of a very complicated polynomial function. So let's take a look at example 1 from your learning resources. It asks us to determine the quotient of x to the power 4 plus x squared plus x plus 1 divided by x minus 1. We do the same thing as we would do with a real number, and we write this first equation underneath the division sign, and the second equation outside the division sign. Notice in the first equation we do not have x cubed. It's actually the coefficient in front of x cubed is 0. That's why x cubed is not involved in the equation. However, when we write it underneath the division sign, we still have to write the x cubed in as a placeholder. So now we have to try to find the variable that will times by x minus 1 will get closest to x to the power of 4, and that will be x to the power of 3. So x to the power of 3 times x minus 1, that would give us x to the power of 4 minus x cubed. Then we use x to the power of 4 plus 0x cubed minus x to the power of 4. This will be plus then x to the power of 3. That will give us a final answer of x to the power of 3. And then we bring the x squared down. That would be x cubed plus x squared. Then we use x squared to time it by x minus 1. That will give us x cubed minus x squared. We use the first equation to minus the second equation. That will give us an answer of 2x squared. Then we bring this x down. That will give us 2x squared plus x. We use 2x to time by x minus 1. That will give us 2x squared minus 2x. 2x squared minus 2x squared is 0. X minus negative 2x is 3x. So we bring the 1 down. That will give us 3x plus 1. Then we use 3 to time it by x minus 1. That will give us 3x minus 3. 3x minus 3x is 0. 1 minus negative 3 is 4. Thus the quotient is x cubed plus x squared plus 2x plus 3 with a remainder of 4, and that would be the 4 right here. An easier method in dividing two polynomial functions is synthetic division. Synthetics is used for finding zero or roots of a polynomial. It is an efficient way in dividing polynomial by a binomial of the form in bracket x minus k. So for example, let's determine the quotient of x squared plus 5 plus 6. Sorry, it should be x squared plus 5x plus 6 divided by x plus 2. Okay, I have just fixed the slide. So that's x squared plus 5x plus 6 divided by x plus 2. Let k be negative 2. Notice that the k, here negative 2, is the opposite sign as the positive 2 that's behind x right here. So in step 1, we write only the coefficients instead of an upside down division symbol like so. The coefficient for x squared would be 1, coefficient for 5x would be 5, and for 6 would just be 6. So we write 1, 5, 6, and outside we write negative 2, which is our k. In step 2, we leave a space underneath the quotient, which is here, and place k outside the flip-flop division sign. Carry down the first coefficient that belongs to the highest power. The highest power was x squared, so highest power is 2. So we bring down this 1. Next, what we do is we use this 1 and we time it by -2, and that will give us -2. Then we use 5 minus 2, that will be actually 5 plus -2, that will give us 3. Then we use this 3 and we time again by -2, that will give us -6. 6 plus -6 will be 0. The row below the divider sign is the answer. It is in this case x minus 3, which is here, right here. The overall order of the quotient is always 1 degree below the divided. So remember, the highest degree was x squared, but in the answer, the highest degree was just x. So let's do more practice. Look at example 3 from your learning resources. We're given 3x cubed plus 2x squared plus 4 divided by x minus 2. So we set up as we did in the last question, in which only the coefficients are written down. In this case, the coefficients are 3 from x cubed, 2 from x squared, it's 0 from x, and 4. And we divide it by positive 2, which is k. Again, we bring the 3 down because it has the highest order. And then we use the 3 to time it by 2, and we get 6. We use 2 plus 6, and we get 8. Then we use 8 times 2, that would give us 16. 0 plus 16 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32. 32 times 4 is 36. And you do the exact same thing over and over again until you run out of coefficients in the first line. So the number in the left, over in the bottom right corner, is your remainder, which is 36. And 3x squared plus 8x plus 16 will be your final answer. So that's the end of this lecture. Please check out the activity video as well as do your assignments and upload them for your teacher to mark. And I'll see you guys next lecture.